Hi guys, Jeff here again from TAP. Just got an interesting job in the workshop today that I'd love to just share with you on a couple of different levels. Car came in with an overheating problem, and then after talking to the customer, we found out a bit of history. The car was, the battery went flat a couple of days beforehand. They had the roadside assistance come out to the car, and the thermo fans were running all the time. After mucking around with the relays a bit, they got the fans to go off. They seemed to be happy with that, let them go. A couple of days later, the car was overheating. So we had to check out the vehicle. So this particular vehicle has, it's a Kia Soul, a 2009 model, but it doesn't really matter. The thermo fans work quite similarly in most makes and models. It has two relays in the vehicle, one for low speed, one for high speed, controlled by the ECU, obviously watching engine temperature. Once we checked the vehicle out, both those relays weren't working properly, but interestingly enough, we had to check a few things. So obviously with the car here, we've got two relays which are situated here. We've got them both out at the moment. A low speed fan relay here and a high speed fan relay. First thing we noticed once we got the relays out was actually having a look at the writing on them. You can see it's a 12 volt 35 amp. Now, that's a lot of current for one of these mini relays, and I don't agree that this small relay here should be switching such high current. They should have been using one of these bigger relays. But anyway, smaller relay switching 35 amps. First thing we need to do is checking with something like this is to make sure the thermo fan's not drawing too much current. So again, we've just rigged up our old analog amp meter here, and we're just going to check the actual current flow for the high speed fan. So we just kind of look here, we're just going to connect up that high speed fan. You'll see an initial spike of current up to about 20 amp, and then it just cuts down to about 10 amps. So the fan's quite okay. The high current flow in starter, we're testing the high speed side of it, and that's obviously from a standing start. So if the low speed was already on and it cuts into high speed, you wouldn't quite get that much of a jump up in regards to the current flow. But once we've decided that the current flow is fine, we're happy with that. But the relay, so once we had a closer look at the relays then to see, well, what's going on inside them, interestingly enough, we found something quite interesting. Once we open the relay up, you can see I've opened up the contacts here. You've got one contact there and the other contact here, but it's got a big hole in it. There's something missing. Once we actually opened the relay up, both of them had the contact was actually sitting in the base of the relay. It had dislodged. So obviously because of the high current flow and the continual cycling of the relay with the thermo fans, again, this is just not coping, and the contact itself is becoming dislodged from the metal, obviously where the two are attached. Which was interesting. We could actually work out what actually happened then, because what's obviously happened with this particular vehicle a couple of days before, that contact is dislodged and shorted out the relay, hence the fans were on all the time, sent the battery flat. Once they mucked around with it, they obviously dislodged the little contact, relay, the contact fell out, so the thermo fan switched off. But inadvertently, the relays weren't going to be effective then because that contact's actually missing. So after a few more days of it cycling and stuff, it was intermittently not going to work. And both relays ended up suffering from the same problem. Both of them were missing that particular contact. We were able to find a Britax relay, which is actually, again, rated 35 amps. But probably a much better quality one. That's available through the aftermarket. We source these through Cool Drive. But again, a much better quality relay. You can get them genuine. They're worth about $40 genuine for those particular relays. But I think the Britax ones would probably be better in this situation of handling that high current flow and the cycling nature of the thermo fans. Guys, if you're a member, make sure you're utilising the website and getting everything, the benefit of all the information on the website. If you're not a member, it might be time to join up. So go to tap.net.au, click on the Join Up Now button and join up with the many thousands of other technicians sharing information and knowledge, just like I've shared with you here today. See you next time.